Let's turn to this. The Paley International Council Summit kicked off in New York City this morning. The conference features key media, entertainment, and technology executives. And Yahoo Finance's Dan Roberts joins us from there with one of them. Dan.
All right, Julie, thanks so much. We're here at the Paley Media Center event, as you said, and I've got Discovery CEO David Zaslov. You guys know Discovery, owner of so many big channels. David, thanks for being here.
Nice to see you.
It's been exactly a year now since the Scripps acquisition, giant merger for you guys. You gained Food Network, among other big channels. How is that going? Yeah, exactly right. How about that integration?
You know, if you look at it in terms of how we came together, put the IP and the aside, just in terms of synergy, we were generating about $1.4 billion in free cash flow. Scripps was generating about 700. We set a goal, so together we were 2.1. We set a goal of together, if we really reinvent this company, we can drive toward $3 billion in free cash flow. This year, we're on a trailing basis at $2.9 billion in free cash flow.
Okay.
So it's been a huge transaction in terms of benefit and free cash flow and EBITDA growth for the company. But in addition, Scripps for us wasn't just buying a number of channels and an IP library. It was the fact that they own all their content everywhere in the world, and that we have a chance to take that content and all those characters above the globe, and we can put them on channels everywhere in the world, or we could offer them, broadly direct to consumer. And so when we look at our overall company, Discovery, Animal Planet, ID, Science, Oprah, Travel. You put that together with home and food. And in the US, we're the #1 media company in America for women. And so when people think, who's the biggest media company in America, they'll think, well, maybe it's Time Warner, or maybe it's Disney, or maybe it's CBS. But all of our channels together aggregate a larger group of women in America than anyone else. And so it's the transaction not only gave us real economic growth, and gave us a massive IP library, but it made us the largest player in America for women, which is a great currency for us in the advertising market.
You mentioned direct to consumer. We're sitting down here just 2 days after Disney launched Disney Plus. Everyone is talking about what these giant companies are doing in streaming. Bob Iger a few quarters back said direct to consumer is now our #1 priority at the company. I'm sure you're watching all this and you're thinking about, now that we've gained an additional library of huge channels that have a huge following, especially among women, how we package those and create some kind of streaming offering. You guys haven't given many specifics on that. I know you already have an app that does a lot of Food Network exclusive content.
Right.
What are you thinking about in terms of an OTT subscription app? How do you go about pricing something like that, choosing what to put on that, and is that in the works?
Well, first, the good thing for us is that all the great media companies in the business have all gravitated toward scripted series and scripted movies. So you have Netflix, Disney Plus, HBO and HBO Max, Amazon Prime, Showtime, Stars. You have 6 or 7 or 8 players trying to be the dominant player in the entertainment pie.
It's a lot.
It's a lot, and there's going to be a lot of carnage. There'll probably be 3 or 4 that are left, and the rest of them will tip over, because they're fighting for talent, they're fighting on price, they're fighting for the person that wants entertainment content. Which one are they going to go to? What we're excited about is we're not in that street fight. We own all of our content, but we own different kinds of content. We're not in the scripted series and scripted movie business. We own home, food, Oprah, Chip and Joanna Gaines, Science.
Do you call that reality, by the way?
I'd call it, we look at it this way. People go to those entertainment products, they shut the lights, and they go there to lose themselves, to watch a great series, and to forget about the world. People come to our content to find themselves. How do I fix up my house? What do I do with what do I do to make a great new kitchen? How do I make a great dinner for my family? I want to learn about science. What's going on with the environment? What's happening with animal extinction? With Oprah, how do I go and further my journey for a better life? With Chip and Jo, family values, core values. And so, for us, we think, not only do we own all of our content, but we have content that's different. And when people turn the TV set on in the US, they could watch anything. And 50% of the time, they're watching scripted series and scripted movies. That's the pie that all those great companies are fighting over. But the other half of the time, they're watching our stuff. And it was awakening for us when we put Scripps together with Discovery. We were surprised when we emerged as the number 2 or 3 media company in America, and when we looked at the data over the last year and the data said we're number 1 for women.
Yeah,
and so we've really leaned into that. So I think we have a very differentiated strategy. And the entertainment players also, in many cases, they don't own their content.
Right.
They are participants.
And they're spending a lot to license their own content back.
And they got to license it back.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I think we've done well is we recognize very early that we need to own all of our content globally. And so we really have the flexibility to figure out how do we offer it in different ways.
We're talking about streaming. That's something that all the big players are looking at, testing out, trying. The other thing happening, I feel like when you look around media, especially television, it's all tying up. It's all M&A activity. Scripps was a huge acquisition for you guys. Are you, for the time being, done buying, or are you looking around at what could you buy next?
Well, look, as I said, we're generating close to $3 billion in free cash flow. So for us, and our business is still growing at mid-single digit in terms of EBITDA. So we have a very healthy core business. And that even incorporates the fact that we're spending a couple of $100 million on our direct-to-consumer opportunities. And so one of the issues that we have is over the next 4 or 5 years, we're going to have 10, 12, $15 billion of cash. What do we do with it? And so I think the focus for us is going to be, is there great, are there other great companies, or is there great IP out there?
Right.
We went out and we did a deal with Chip and Joanna Gaines. Mm-hmm. That was an investment because we think that could be a very big business with them. We went out and invested to get into business with Oprah. We invested to get into business with the PGA, where we own almost all the golf in the world. We got into business with Formula E because we think owning Formula E over the long term, over the next 10, 20, 30 years, could be very compelling. And so we'll look to invest in IP or sustainable assets to make us stronger. We started buying back a lot of our stock because we think we're undervalued. And we think we're unique in that most media companies are pretty busy. And we got a lot of momentum. We're outperforming our competitors. We got a lot of cash. And I think this could be a very good time for us over the next year or two to build growth and build momentum.
And you own all the content.
We own all of it.
All right, David Zaslov, thanks so much. Really appreciate it. We got to leave it there.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.